relationship between our two countries. My country, Sierra Leone, with total population of 7.1 million people, has huge potential for investment. It is peaceful and democratic, has vast arable land to farming.
The new government, headed by Julius Maada Bio, is a credible one, is determined to open up the market, and they want to seize this opportunity. I think this is a great opportunity for my own sector, but also for the people of Sierra Leone.
She has actually seen President and described President Bio as the new African leader that will transform Sierra Leone. So by all indications, we will build on the China-Sierra Leone friendship and bring it to the highest level, focusing on three key areas. One is critical infrastructure development. Secondly, education. And thirdly, the economy and the agriculture.
Student assets of Sierra Leone, human resource base of Sierra Leone, who graduate here, they're supposed to ship their items to Freetown. They refused to for the past 2 years. For what? Small monies? No. That's why the directive is in place. That will be done.
I've listened carefully to some of the challenges you are facing here. Oh yes! Oh yes! And as you know, this is power government. Power. You can rest assured that we have a proper leadership, a leadership that cares, a leadership that is informed, and a leadership that is going to deliver on the core promises made to the people of Sierra Leone.
If you could change 2 things about yourself, what 2 things would you change and why?
2 things about myself. I'm Bendu. I'm a very tall, slim girl, and I'm also beautiful. Thank you.
Hello family, Una Cabo. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network, the place where we bring Africa live to whosoever you day around the globe. Of course, today another day. Of course, we feel very much delighted for able for come to Una again today. Of course, today the program so we bring come to Una are purely discussions. Today we're not going for bring Boku today, not just discussions. We want to talk about key issues in the country, especially issues then with the border on the fact that we President His Excellency Julius Maada Bio get for come again for Canada United Nations General Assembly meeting again for the Pada meeting day, and of course Pada meeting day we expect we head of state so don't come for put the country in business across to the people them to the leaders of the world, and so we expect we president for able for come and be part of that whole meeting. So what we're going to discuss now, so today plenty time with all for say people that they want for whole protest against the president of Sierra Leone, now New York. Then of course we also want to talk about key issues then we don't they happen at the country, before the election, after the election, or during the election, and even after the election. Some of the key issues then that we're going to talk about today. Of course, today we're going to bring in people that most of them don't hear where they talk on Sierra Leonean issues. We get for one of the panelists get for be Mr. Jesmed for the Mamisuma. I get for join me in at the studio from New Jersey, and of course we also get with sister Betty Forey of the C4C. Plenty of Unadoye in name or in voice on social media, and in the global publicity secretary for the C4C Coalition for Change. And of course we also get Mr. Emmanuel Safar Abdullahi, a human rights lawyer based in Freetown, Sierra Leone. He got for David Win at the studio for talk to me about your personal assessment of situations in Sierra Leone, how things in the road in Sierra Leone, waiting, he go able for tell me about events that where they unfold, whether there has been any form of human rights violation. But of course we will get your APC brother so plenty remain to the argue on issues, and that now Mr. Samuel Delito Toure. We're going to talk to the one and today for let me just hold a frank conversation about things that will happen at Sierra Leone and how we as Sierra Leoneans go able for put your hands on deck for able for move this country forward. Elections don't pass. We're not going to forget any national election again until after 5 years. And so now we all for focus on how for move the country go before. So now that's get for be the thing we'll get for do now so today, right? So one for me, stick around as we continue for bring the programs to you. Stick around with us.
All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell us if baby, go chop my money, cause it's wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her, say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from?
Right, of course, Ibrahim Sheriff's broadcast network coming to you live and direct from Houston, Texas. Of course, just like I would tell when today in our discussion we get forget Naya, we get forget people that we get for joining at the studio for talk about issues where they in Sierra Leone, the country where we all came from. And so as we go, with this discussion, we get for also make sure say we able for open the line so that when I go able for call in and be part of the conversation. Today we just feel say elections don't pass, and now if we're all very honest about what we've done to talk about the country Sierra Leone, and that one for let this country go before this now the time where we get for make that happen. So we all now get for put our hands on deck for ensure say we're able for put waiting with the talk to practice. And so now that we get for begin for doing our so today. So we get for begin for talk on the issues, and of course just like I don't say we don't forget Mr. Jesman for the Mami Suma from New Jersey, Madam Betty Foy from the Washington DC metro area. Of course we don't forget Samuel Dilitu Toure, and of course Emmanuel Safar Abdullahi, a human rights lawyer from Freetown, Sierra Leone. So we don't forget all the one and they and get for join with today for let's talk on this. But for now, we want for me to stick around as we continue to bring the programs to you. Stick around with us.
Tell me, where are you Girl, you're too fine, and by the way, you the rewind, and make a bad man feel fine, and so come make you be man, oh yeah.
Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from?
Shirt is so fun with a big backside. Tell me where you from, can I be your buddy guy? I'm on your line, girl, waiting for your time. Body of a mind, you can press rewind. Hold me down, please me now. Money on my mind, but I get by the grind. Girl, you are fine. G's on the rhyme, cause you are fine.
Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from?
Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause you know see I get a plenty for Charlo.
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Oh yeah, dekariwa. Oh yeah, dekariwa.
Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Oh yeah, dekariwa. Oh yeah, dekariwa. Girl, you're too fine, and by the way, you the rewind, and make a bad man feel fine, and so come make you be man, oh yeah.
Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from?
Shirt is so fun with a big backside. Tell me where you from, can I be your buddy guy? I'm on your line, girl, waiting for your time. Body of a mind, you can press rewind. Hold me down, please me now. Money on my mind, but I get by the grind. Girl, you are fine. G's on the rhyme, cause you are fine.
Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's Wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from?
get a plenty for Chalo.
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me.
All right, and so me family when I get for give we hacker, when I get for left hacker for we because we try for do some connections here, but we get some half problem. Okay, so for now, what we go do? We go try for bring Mr. Emmanuel Abdullahi. We talk to him about everything in the country. All right, so do you stick around as we bring that to you right about this time? Just hold right there, and we'll bring it over. Stick around with us, okay? Alright, so me family them, we all know the plenty way people then they allege say plenty human rights violations that don't take place in Sierra Leone. Especially we don't see and now say a British MP don't weigh into the conversation as well, wherein they allege say human rights violations they go on in the form of the ruling SLPP members then they intimidate members of the main opposition All People's Congress. And so plenty other things that they since where election don't take place in the country, after the election, waiting to go on at the country. So today we get the opportunity for talk to a human rights lawyer, a human rights person, somebody way a name familiar with all, and not to other person. Where they talk about Mr. Emmanuel Safar Abdullahi. I will talk to him today live from Freetown on some of the issues there. Hello, Mr. Abdullahi. How do you do, sir?
Hello, Chief. How are you?
I'm doing great. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network. Of course, this is not the network where people in the hear you, everything all they discuss today, people then go hear them all over the world. So it's a delight. We're not saying you're a busy person. In fact, they run for going to another meeting, but we appreciate you for coming in. So for let we not go delay, we want for, we not say you're a human rights lawyer in Sierra Leone, you're a person who don't stand on issues in the country. So we want for let you go give we, first of all, this allegation for say human rights violations then they happen in Sierra Leone. You then in Sierra Leone, you go on for tell we if this not true or not true.
Well, thank you very much, Sherry, for getting me. And as you know, I work for Society for Democratic Initiative, when a civil society organization, and then a human rights lawyer. And every country gets a human rights violations where normally they range from police arresting people and not granting them bail. There might be slow judicial processes. The important thing we all need to know about is that very recently the police, together with the military and other security agencies, ONS, they do a raid on Mile 91 because they didn't get an intelligence. People and they go Jamba and then they sell Jamba and buy motorbike them. So then do the raid and then go there. In the process of the raid, one person, then kill one person, then shoot one person and kill him. Now, as you know, anybody where police kill, it's clearly unlawful. Police not the right to kill anybody. Police not get the right to shoot citizens them, except if they come under tremendous gunfire, then they can return gunfire. But police will exercise tremendous restraint. Right. So, in fact, the organization come out with a press release and condemn the fact that one person died. In the same vein, we say, look, the police get the right to ensure that law and order is respected in the country. However, when then they do that for exercise restraint, we're not going to lead to the loss of life. We also call for public inquiry into the process. The police complaint board state and the investigation, so let them do the process in a transparent and open manner and make it not become one of them processes, and the way normally you will get commission of inquiry or an investigation and ever come to an end. Now, apart from that, if I'm aware of other killings, no, I am not aware of it, because one of the things when the organization they do actually, we get monitors them all over the country, where they monitor post-election violence or intimidation. Me, they tell you, I'll be clearly baffled why I read the British MP saying Sierra Leoneans are being killed and being intimidated, political opponents. I don't know whether in other part of Sierra Leone that they happen. They have not come to me notices. In fact, I've been here to write them an email and ask them, I say, Mr. British MP, can you quote the instances where people have people and don't get killed or intimidated so we can go in and investigate? So that's what we do. We investigate human rights violations and at the same time we document them, because we document human rights violations by state actors. When the election passed, clearly there were tensions with communities. People who have been done the make club are doing elections. People who have been done to get tensions over the last years where they don't get suppressed. There was a kind of spontaneous outburst. Then again, it was condemned. But going forward, in the last 2 months or so, I haven't seen or heard of one instance where they will say, oh, somebody is killed, somebody has been beaten because he belonged to another political party. I'll give you an instance. 3 days ago, I didn't want to put them called Sierra Leone issues. Sierra Leone looking ground, one WhatsApp group. Somebody posted a photo. They said, oh, they don't beat one APC man, Nakene man, and don't wound. And this photo shows somebody who wound and they lay down a hospital. So I tell them, I said, no, who said this happened? He said, Nakene man. I called, we monitor on Nakene man. I said, there is something happening. Then he go there and check for us. He go down at the hospital, he go to the police, and he not find any situation. So I am a little bit baffled really after waiting a lot of people decide Sierra Leoneans out of the country and inside the country they try to gain from making stories where they happen in the country. You know, so I know they say they are not happening. Maybe they are happening in isolated incidences, but we haven't had past issues where they say anybody is killed or people are being intimidated. And this is the question where it is with the British the British MP and the police. Some instances we will go in there, we will investigate, we put out a press statement, we'll call on the president, say, Mr. President, you need for investigate these issues and you need for. But most instances where you will say, oh, human rights violations, they go on and they kill people and they intimidate people. Nobody can point to one instance. You understand? Right. And I think, say, if anybody get any information on this, we're here, we're human rights defenders, whether you be SLPP, you be APC, you be PPP, you be NGC, if government or state actors then violate your rights, then we then go kill that person and so on. We are following that up. We will follow them up. In fact, we bring an action against the state on your behalf. I will give you another instance. For example, very recently, you get university students them when the police arrest and say them they're on in the station and then killed one of them company and called the club Climax. Now we go in and say we provide lawyers for them, but they want to arrest because we think everybody when they're accused of wrongdoing to get a right to legal defense. And Mr. Sebgodi has gone throughout the interviews. As soon as we pass 10 days, we the police continue for arrest them for keep them at detention. We started writing letters to the Chief Justice, write letters to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, put out a press release that then the police violate the constitutional rights of the people of the citizenry of Sierra Leone. The Constitution says if you hold somebody for murder, you can only keep him in detention for 10 days. Now, eventually, as they speak to you, they say somebody and they charge them because of the pressure where they don't put. Now, you could see these people who they defend, we don't care whether they are SLPP, APC, or they are Mendes, they are members, or they are from the Southeast or not. What we do is to defend people's rights. So I beg anybody, if you have any information, please send them to me. Just look me up on Facebook, send me a message. I always respond so that we will have a look into this. But if they are not happening, I don't think it also makes a lot of sense for we Sierra Leoneans for score political goal. We just create political tension and make enough stories that are not happening.
Right. And so just now, Mr. Abdullahi, you mentioned, say, you've been for send an email to the British MP for making go tell you, say specifically, then human rights violations don't happen. So when I go inside and investigate, you been getting any response to that email?
No, I haven't heard from him. I sent him the email from last week Wednesday, actually.
Okay.
Then, because I only actually, where I see the clip when they send around where he raised the issue of parliament. Again, Mr. Sheriff, let me get this clear. I am very happy that we get people out of the country. We're interested in looking at the country. Because for a very long time, the country don't go bad, people will violate human rights. Right. So him raising those issues are good things, are also good things for Sierra Leone. But when I was like, where is this happening? We will not understand.
Right.
We will not see them. We will not see them. Where the paper is not report them. Okay, so for example, there is another incident that happened yesterday where everybody in the country will know about. They say the resident minister of Namakeni and somebody get altercation. Then he brings soldier man. Then there was a couple. He makes a big demand. Now AYV television, where they McKinney, then go and cover the man. They interview the man where they cry, they show the pain on his body. So the reason why I'm pointing this out, once they show on the AYV, we call we on monitor, we say go look into that situation there. Instant can will bring an action against it. In this digital world, anywhere there is a problem in this country, we will see it. We will know, we will go there and we'll find out. And we will ensure that anybody when a perpetrator is brought to book.
Right. And so, Mr. Abdullahi, say yourself, during the past government, you would stand on issues, human rights issues, and you would, get into problem with the past government. So, I be one for know from you, waiting at your own personal assessment of this new government with regards to upholding human rights in the country. Okay,
and for me, I think government. Always, once you say government, they always violate human rights.
Okay.
And as citizens, we will stand up to that and protect fundamental rights. Now, one of the things we will always complain about that the new government has not done correctly, and how then we place people and we get security of tenure. You understand? What we say security of tenure, make a break and then for people. People that way. The law says maybe then get them where they employ them for 4 or 5 years in their job. Now you know that when President Bio comes, because the Supreme Court they don't rule very badly, say the president gets supreme executive authority. They can use that for dissolve most of them boards and then commissions and they. Now this is something we all will clearly complain about. But I think as I speak to you, Sierra Leone is very peaceful. People going about their business. I mean, the rainy season is just the subside. Normally August, September, things get a bit difficult for people. And government, we just come in. They also find them difficult for get grip on financial system. So, if you talk about socioeconomic rights, I think I made it tougher for people. But then the whole person is on a tweet, then they arrest people and because they have political opinion or because they wear political colors. I don't think that is correct. I mean, I will say that without, I'm talking to the whole world and I am here and there are other people here. If they want, they could bring a contrary opinion. And I don't just say this, Mr. Shahid, I say this because I do monitor the human rights situation. The rule of law needs to be respected. President Bill needs to ensure that if you are sacking people, there is a reason for that. We know say when the president comes into office, he gets for sack a lot of political appointees then, but they bring their own thing. And it happened in the United States, it happened everywhere. When Obama left, Trump come with your own team. But you get certain offices where they are protected, where the president cannot sack those people and they have to bear with them and work with them until then tenure they expire, then they will replace them. That we can always say to the government. But I don't think there is any egregious human rights violations that are ongoing in the country.
Okay, and so you did talk about jobs, then we get security. I mean, security of the tenure, just like how you don't put out. Okay, so you did talk say this government don't sack people that we get that kind of security there, and they don't pay attention to that.
Well, there are about 3 or 4 people. I mean, one of them could be the ACC commissioner, the Office of the Ombudsman, and I think the Freedom of Information Commissioner, and the Human Rights Commission. So those 4 I know of, and yes. Those ones are that the government should have paid attention to the law which creates them, you understand, and then ensure the security of tenure. Even though, the government is giving their own argument about this, right? I mean, I'm not a spokesman for them. They say most of these people wait in the pool and their offices, but let they appoint to their offices, you for be apolitical, means that you don't belong to a political party. You forget higher integrity. But during the election, the people are all holding office, then some of them jump on the campaign trail. They wear party colors. Then they jump on campaign trail and campaign. So therefore, they're not fit for all the offices. I agree with most of those concerns. I mean, most of those assertions. My own concern about that is that I would say government, for ensure that you set up a proper tribunal, they look into this so that they present evidence. Then you give the person the option to resign, or you recommend for terminating service. And that's one shortfall that you might say, okay, it's happening. So clearly, the president has to bring his team. He has to replace other people in major important positions. When officer and man, then and young team will carry into game. You understand? It does happen. That's how it happens when there is a transition, when there is a change of government all over the world, right? And for say there is a band of people where they wear green, where they wear pink, where they go and kill people, where they wear red, or there are people going to non-mandate houses or non-limber houses and killing them. I don't think that's happening in Sierra Leone, honestly.
Right. And so finally, because I know say busy, get for go. Say people in there, some people in there we don't name themselves as concerned Sierra Leoneans. Where once somebody speak, one of them spokesman are from New York. Then they plan for stage a protest against the president in New York. We're not saying that people they right for make them stage protest, make them protest against anything where they not believing or where they no say they go wrong. But one of the reasons where they give for that protest now these same human rights violations. So based on waiting you know and waiting you don't say so now, you feel say it then get any justification for stage a protest against the president based on that reason?
Well, look, I mean, even if you disagree with the president, for example, say, appoint a cabinet where you get it right for demonstrate, just like we say. You didn't get it right for burn their presidential flag. You didn't get it right for disagree with one policy of the government and decide to demonstrate. Now, demonstration against the president in New York is a good thing also, because we also go make sure that our government then they notice two things. One, that people are watching you. If you do things, when you get out there, they will try to embarrass you. But the second aspect is also to show our police and the hierarchy that it is the right of citizens for letting them protect. You will notice, for the past 10 years to 11 years now, there is no major anti-government protest in Sierra Leone because the police, they block them, they're not the declarant. But now you can see that there is a letter going about in which the Metropolitan Police in New York don't give clearance of concern to Sierra Leone. Now, that's one part of it. It's a good thing. It's a democratic credential for people for living in a democratic country. Yeah. The second aspect, whether it's justifiable or not, again, it depends on the people's opinion. You could disagree with me and you protest against the government. I can disagree with you.
Right.
My opinion about that issue, which I stated yesterday on AYD, I think it is too early to protest against the government. We barely decide 6 months in office.
Okay.
We are all holding them to account. We will never sit back and allow this government to be despotic or undemocratic. But 6 months in office, you might disagree with them. I would have thought if concerned Sierra Leoneans want to make a position, the president, I just see a scenario on social media where they meet Sierra Leoneans in media. They could have catalogued the positions, and again, I tell you this, and this is what I want people to do. Document this abuses, this human rights violation. Here in McKinney Town, this happened yesterday. Here in McBokan, I say it happened. Here in Amendment 1, I say it happened. And present a petition to the president when he go meet the people in town hall meeting. I mean, I think it's a proper way, a stronger way of communicating. But I guess because it did not happen to President Koroma, former President Koroma, and he was embarrassed, I guess in fact he also wants payback time. So they want to hit back on something. Because when I look also, I see another release today where concerns Sierra Leoneans, they not when they organize the protest. I see APC they themselves from the protest. So who is organizing? What is the objective of organizing it? Again, I don't have any right to question Sierra Leoneans why they want to protest against the president. The president, their right to express their dissent. But I also believe that we should have a tangible cause and reason why we want to put the country on a map on protesting.
Right. All right, of course, my family, this now, Mr. Emmanuel Safar Abdullahi, of course, as we know him, a human rights lawyer in Freetown. We get for Brian Kamna, so later on, for let we really talk about some other issues. But today, it's busy, you get for left we now. So, Mr. Abdullahi, you get any final word where you want for say to people that way they listen to you right now?
Well, look, I mean, for me, one of the things which keep me going in Sierra Leone is I am hopeful that this country is moving forward. You know, I always just say to people where they talk to, where they chat with, I say, this country is moving forward. Because the things that happened 2 years ago, Sierra Leoneans, they don't become so aware and never go wrong again. And, for example, when President Nkrumah came to power, this city was in darkness. It provides a substantial amount of electricity. Right? Now, because we changed up, when President Bio came to power, now we have almost, let me believe we get 24 hours electricity. It likes to go to them a 5-10 minutes to come back. What means there is some amount of progress. Now, when President Nkrumah, ex-President Nkrumah came to power, the roads were bad. It enlarged them. President Bio don't carry the take them forward. This is our country. The only place we call home. We have to hold governance to account in a stronger way. If you look at, like, for example, the group where I belong to, the Renaissance movement, we are suing government, we sue the judiciary, we sue the police, you know, because we clearly believe, say, now business for whole government for account. The only thing where we always caution, there's nothing good in throwing police to a point to make the country look bad. I think the British MP was off cuff, what he say in British Parliament, hearing from people with wrong information. As far as I know, those what he said, most of them are not correct. The people are not being killed or intimidated. We get people who want to go quarters with who were strong APC people with discuss politics with that. There are people all over the country within the past with their party colors and stuff. Just recently, we get the NRM within the APC get a national press conference and they see the one reform within the APC. So this country is moving forward. We as Sierra Leoneans to help them to move forward. There's a change of government. You might not like it, but it's going to be 5 years. What you begin to do now, for go back to your own party, begin to organize for ensure that one can win over Sierra Leoneans the mind. But for ensure that we not get investors coming to Sierra Leone, jobs are not created and people are suffering. I don't think that is correct. But I am very hopeful. I think Sierra Leoneans are lining fast. We are moving forward as a nation, and I hope we all will put our hands on deck, hold the government to account, ensure that these human rights violations don't happen again. So, for example, the killing of 91, we interested in the public inquest. We then will look into it and come up with a report and blame whoever it is and hold them to account. I think when things like this happen, these are legitimate things for anybody to raise up. We will not sit down, we make fictional stories just because we want to score social media points.
Right. All right, Mr. Abdullahi, thank you so much for your wisdom, for your knowledge, for everything what you share with we today. We appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sherman.
All right, so me family them, we all done the plenty way. People then they allege say plenty, you know, human rights violations that don't take place in Sierra Leone. Especially we don't see and now say a British MP don't weigh into the conversation as well, wherein they allege say, you know, human rights violations that go on in the form of the ruling SLPP member. All right, and so me famuden, that's Nabi Mr. Emmanuel Safar Abdullahi, a human rights lawyer. Talk to we today from Freetown, Sierra Leone. Of course, will be just one for Lewuna see Wusa is stand, because inside Freetown, it inside Sierra Leone. So if there is any human rights violation in the country, it will be the first person we go know. So now we don't know exactly where we stand on that issue. Of course, we got to continue for, bring the programs to Unanaya. So right now on the screen, you can see no other person but my own sister, the global publicity secretary of the Coalition for Change. Of course, when I don't hear Betty Fore in voice on social media this BNTM. Na a lioness, that's what I go call them. They back down, they give up, they fire back. So today we're going to talk to him about your own personal assessment of Sierra Leone as a country. After the election don't take place, we don't get new government, and moving forward where the C4C stands. Because now we don't say election done. We all get for put our hands on deck for move Sierra Leone forward. Hello, Sister Betty, how you do?
Fine, thank you, Ibrahim.
Yes.
How you safe?
I did do okay. I'm not saying a busy person. We don't want for take your time. We want for go straight to the point. Welcome to Sheriff's Broadcast Network again. I want for start by talking to you as Sierra Leonean. Waiting na your own personal assessment of Sierra Leone or this government after elections.
Well, me, I for start for say, I tell God thank you for where He make let the Sierra Leonean people then able for come together and kick out the APC. And I'm glad for let the present president win the election when His Excellency Madabio and the team where he don't assign for work with him and waiting that they do so far. I'm glad for that. We country, we don't go through a lot of problems, trials, and tribulations. And new revelations that they confirm, because some of we know waiting below they go on at the APC, we're not good for the country. A few people then we don't hijack the country, they run like a private enterprise, they make profit for themselves while the majority of the people in the language in poverty. And plenty things that they go wrong in a salon before now. Like the road accidents the way they take place. A government now like a parent. And the president calling himself father of the nation, being supposed for they look and see anything where they go wrong in the country for let him make sure say he puts her under control. That's not be before that's not money no more, chap no more. I mean this money people that they fetch war and they get a plenty, then they die, they left and so they would accept them not be while they eat the money, now I go get for kind enjoy them. So why make them not go just look, say let them come together and do something for the country so everybody in the country go enjoy the resources the way God don't bless Sierra Leone with. Right now, I feel like say SLPP they go towards that direction, the new direction. I salute them for now. People then when you can talk to, they begin for smear you, that person in a position in defend. Waiting at the position where they were supposed to go look for position and they don't give the position at all. So what would they talk? Would they talk for the love of the country? And right now, developments where they take place, they know they pick and choose, say, you know, SLPP, you know, APC, you know, PMDCC, for CAN, NGC, or what's not. If lights then at the country, now everybody they enjoy. the lights not there for jump the host when APC say I don't go supply, I go to the SLPP. If the go there good now everybody where they drive Motukana the road now go enjoy. If free education don't pay, everybody in the country they enjoy because some of them big man they get money, they go able to send their pikin and go private school. Not so pass big man self. People in there where they work hard and look say if they not be opportune in life, they will give opportunity to them begin them. So they didn't there na Abacha street where they sell them beginning and for college school and they go. Then they make sure say they give them begin their education. So the one they will not get the upper hand. Now that this government don't come and look say look the basic things that we Sierra Leone need, we will provide them for them. I think say everybody will love Sierra Leone truly in heart for embrace and let we all work together. And when that go done, when campaign time come in another 5 years, now that time then we go on the drawing board, we look and see Usai and Usai SLPP then form. If we see say then can do bad thing, we all go gang up against Seleka, we gang up against APC. If we see say they do good thing, we go look say well, they don't do good thing, no, law supports them. Or if we think say we before don't do better, then we can still oppose them. But for now, but this is less than a year where we'll get elections. Anybody with sense, anybody with love for a country, go work with this government here for let we put the house in order, let we come to the street for everybody. But the money the way they don't squander another country, the way they don't loot and embezzle and pilfer, it's too much. It's too much. But not to the government side, no more for the local hey. Now their embassy them. Not to the civil servants no more, the foreign service, their embassy, the corruption where we take place, and therefore address them in the back. Then people are in the private sector where they corrupt, the anti-corruption from people spread in tentacles. Make Sierra Leone become a country like a Rwanda. Let Sierra Leone become a country where possibly you work and at least you give you $20 or you $50 or you give you almost 1,000 million euros. Let the person take care. One after you say, hey, yeah, you don't have money. Let we begin that integrity in our country. Me, I remember me that they tell me about one Creole mommy who commit suicide. Way back in the young time. This mommy don't pay in electricity bill. They pay ahead of time. Now they go send bill to her and say he not pay. The shame, he commit suicide. Me daddy tell me about another case where one Creole Friday don't reach in a construction company. Now the pay master. So they pay every Friday or na the month, but I don't remember, but that was on a Friday. They don't pay salary or they don't pay wages for all the laborer there. But he be check, but he doing work fine. But he forget to ask them for sign. He go home. Monday when he come back, then now don't gag up against her. Not to say that they really mean for Duamo. Now just prank no more they pull on the man. Say they can tell and say he not be pay we. They say no, I pay we now. They say well you not pay we oh. When the proof say you pay me, now I go look now the book. That is he say nobody no sign. And he conscious say they pay them. That man committed suicide. This na be the kind of country where we want them to get now. Country who say people they get shame. Let them know the tip and they look at them for be proud. They begin to go proud of them. Not picking on go proud of his papa. If his papa or his mama they go thief money where belong to everybody else in the country. Right. So these are two examples and no more where me they go back to. Where me own late study, may his soul rest in peace. They tell me, but the standards they will be in Sierra Leone those days. If this government continue for work the way they do, I believe they will go reach back na that part say the glory where we don't lost. We go retrieve them in Jesus' mighty name, amen.
Good talk, you know. And so, Betsy, this is the kind of talk we would expect from every Sierra Leonean. Time they come na a country where we not for play politics. Time they come where na nationalism. And so today, I want for really take this moment on behalf of Sheriff's Broadcast Network for tell the C4C members then plenty thank you for the kind, you know, strength, the kind motivation, inspiration we want to introduce into the electioneering process. Because when I come into existence just a couple of months and when I make a big impact by the election. Some of you be say that kind of number when I get when I go able to forget that kind of number day. And when I go become a factor for let people then depend on for able to go to the runoff. So we want to talk about that election this small, Betty. You know, let's talk about that election small. Waiting you go want for tell we about the leader we would have been get because all man be they behind that leader they you know Alhaji Samuel Samsumana when I be they behind good one till to the time where we go into the first round of the election. Now after the first round, we go into the runoff. Waiting happen.
Well, first of all, like how you say, the economic people they do a marvelous thing for the country. They're not just doing for themselves, they do it for the country. I salute them. The economic people they be so united in this election we pass. This was not about Samsumana because some of them they think say it was about Samsumana. This was about the injustice in the country. They look and say if they when we don't support SLPP under Tijan Kaba. Because Samsuman don't have politics, then the two first ladies, then first and second lady, then are people there. Then throw them weight behind APC and help APC for win election. Now they don't win election, then first round up, we can second term. And it's cool, man. If you be not say it don't spot something there on some Sumana way in no leg, it be for just simply just drop him. Enough for scandalize him, enough for doing anything, because when person you don't call person say can help me, then that person they come, he honor that invitation there. No matter how that person they can turn out to be bad, you get for respect and for where he even answer for help you. So that gratitude alone before make let them not try for scandalize some Sumana in name. But in grab now, then in grab he go announce some Sumana as he running mate again for 2012. Let remind people them when Tijan Kabanobi wants to then before be a vice president anymore. What he do? You not scandalize them, you not get trouble. Nobody don't know what transfer between them and the public. Past people were very, 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 very close to the corridors of Tijan Kabanobi in young power. Now they know what happened. He just tell Joe them be say, you know, you don't do well for me, you serve me, but this time I want to try somebody else. If they think of Septimus Kaikai, Professor Septimus Kaikai and Solomon Berewa, at the end of the day, they choose Solomon Berewa for being running mates and they win. And Escoma could have done the same. Now, he bring it to this level, but you don't go take the man you make you run in it. When I win the election, and an election when the two people they buy the one ticket. How now he go for machinate for let them can pull some Sumana come out na APC, then when they don't expel them, then let's say the APC roof or the state house roof they on fire, you know even give time for let them give all the procedures then, the due process. Ignore everything and just run ahead and sack the man as elected vice president. Now the reason this way make the Kono people that like we, people that all over Sierra Leone will go and join C4C or other parties that will come on APC. Now the reason that this way they accommodate. And then you look again, when they don't pull some Sumana, not happy the elected mayor na Kono. Then discover of the elected position. Then go after people the way they support Sam Sumana, arrest them, lock them up, including his sister. Go lock them up na Padembago. Oh, then they not to politics. If you hate the person, not so that you hate day out na public. Now this make we all come where me the day where Ahmed Conte called me, it was on a New Year's Day 2017. Me think say they called me for congratulate me. I mean me say congratulate for wish me a happy new year. Me and one me friend be school we be go somewhere. Now in call if you see what glad. Me and my friend they work and sleep and not talk to that friend and politics and talk tell who reach na the restaurant who they go. Sam Sumana in case now just come back later now we look say oh if we take some Sumana where an Escoma don't disgrace, we can make a flag bearer, we go able to create an impact. And the Kono people then I will always applaud them because they self get a pride in them. Then are Kono people and these were their own this was their own Kono brother. Then an Escoma street and so they all rally around her. David Tambayo, when have been journalists where they respect, where can they oppose an Escoma. We'll be there with Sam Sumana at some point on Christmas Day. Now, he interview Sam Sumana for give Christmas message to the people that send Sam Sumana they Ghana. So when they carry he say he don't go back, he don't go now, he as journalists don't go APC, the Kono people they be angry with him. They be angry with him because they see and say a betrayal. Well, now that kind way they see Sam Sumana right now for he will don't be the victim, the direct victim of ex-president Kuruma in dictatorship. Then he go now at the height of the runoff where he don't arrange with SLPP say he go Kono declare for the and he not be just make that decision they will then get a meeting of C4C top council members, 21 of them. 16 of that 21 they say let we go with SLPP. 4 sele with him up bien Sam Sumana any side way sele go na they will forgo. One person only sele we go with APC. So Sam Sumana decide for go with SLPP. It don't make arrangements with the all for let them go meet Nakono for let declare for them open in Nakono. Waiting happy. Now and Escoma maybe he get wind of waiting they happy, now they send, they begin make moves for let them go get Sam Sumana on their side. Now that moment, then now they can see Sam Sumana in worth. Now that time they can see Sam Sumana in value. Sam Sumana tell me, with Adonis and Abby Macaulay on the phone, he said, APC, the Alpha candidate, they call me, they want to hold meeting with me. I don't tell them, say, if they go bring Kainde Bangura and see Kainde Bangura, we don't die, they will keep hold the meeting. We all laughed. I was so proud of the man. I said, wow, this guy, now like him with the life partner, this guy get integrity. Only for them, can begin yelling out for more than C4C member there. When I call people and say, hey, we people in Akono, they call me, now this is the plan, now this is the plan, now this is the plan. Then they call me, oh, they don't go say, well, they don't begin up call, they don't begin up call. I mean, I get for the audio on that, so I don't go and let the cat out of the bag right now.
Right.
But for no people, then they resist Sam Sumana. They send a text message. They threaten and say, if we declare for APC, they burn the house, then they begin burn the C4C t-shirts and the video. They send an American to the other Kono people, them. The other Kono people, and they share the video, then they the update. So that they think that they now can make Sam Sumana afraid he don't go declare for APC. Then the SLPP, where he don't probably say they go declare for, as they get money, like it twist by SLPP, he don't agree, he don't even talk to them again. So where SLPP then they go meet him, now he take off. When he cross them a road, he make like say he not see them. What he do? Because he take money high. But this man will nearly kill you, as you say. Now he can tell you back, say, can't go support me, I will make you flag bearer for 2023. You believe him? Then he pull parable na salon. They say, when snake bet you when you see condo or worm, you they jump. But this money business here so fearful. I mean, it just make I feel bad. Plenty Kono people and they will me make plaba. Plenty people and they will call me and say, hey, Betty, you know the wrong movie they make. You they go support somebody when not get integrity. I say that talk on and they talk so. Now lie them be the lie partner because they want kick them out of the way they want disgrace and I make them talk so. But now me begin see differently. And me not they talk this for Sam Sumana no more. Any politician in that country they we can say in Africa gently himself. People they will not team up bien yeah.
But you know, so Betty, the whole thing is we really appreciate you for everything. Some of them new to we and some of them we already know. But when you now be the global publicity secretary of the C4C where you talk so we believe. Now, I be want to ask you for know if you really feel disappointed in Sam Sumana because you know I remember before election. Where I be even try for getting that interview. You not be one of the pro organizers of that interview. You be there with 100%. So yeah, so I want for may you tell we if you felt disappointed at the Sam Sumana where you be know and believing not to the same Sam Sumana we turn out to be.
Well, first and foremost, gladly for this opportunity where I ask this question because people they know they call me, they talk to me, so I make it clear now for the public. My support was not for Sam Sumana.
Okay.
My support not been for the people of Sierra Leone. My support not been for dealing with people and APC out. Because I believe say with Sam Sumana in name because of the injustice. Not so let's say but people me not be for support him. If not to be for waiting and the school man that's make we come here. But right now, for answer your question. I'm not just disappointed. I'm saddened. I know how some of in close family members them go in wealthy picking. I know how they feel because they and I were close and we spoke and I know their minds. I mean, now I can't begin to look at Sam Sumana. I feel sorry for him because I look at it and say this guy is short-sighted. It better way you know even smell, you know even Ghana winning the election because he for be and a disservice to the people. I don't hate him. I just want for make people that know the kind of person where he be and make the mistake. When we hear all the people that way we don't deal with this man, we can't come together. I be the look and say, "Most man they not better." Until myself can be another victim. Now, simple something that happen. After he see for see they don't meet, they don't agree, say let them support SLPP. Tambasandi, when I'm Samsumana beg the people then say, well, this guy and we be APC now work them put come up there. Do you because of that one reason and the whole na food say God beg una give this opportunity let himself enjoy them APC them go feel this one great let he make be the chairman of CIF. 3 months after the election, we will hold another convention and we will be the final one who will choose the proper executive. So they look spoke well, this time they are against them, not stuff like that, they accept that they make the big mistake if they know them. Because we get this guy, Altin Sawyer, when I have been interim chairman of the CPT, the guy was spending his money, they use him for his post, they hold meetings, they organize. Now the guy tell them way ahead of time, say, hey, the vacation for go America, don't they upload? No, you are to go America, but of course, what's happening, say, I'm not going to get boundary. When I go reach me at any time, because my phone will be always open. So I go for I will come back. In that time, they now some man said, die don't escape, die afraid for the good. We not so remember the day we go testify this. So now so it's a good that when everybody come retired on the lead camera and go get Altin Sawyer. Now some make that Altin Sawyer APC don't can concern. Come with flames and excuse them for the sideline the guy. But now waiting Tambasagi can do now in the course of the runoff. Now can make no say. Samsung have been do this not so because he look and say Altin Sawyer will betray C4P or Altin Sawyer do business APT 94. We want some for negotiate with them, for negotiate on his behalf for let it go APC because if you look in the bank and salon, if they can no more, what they ask and say, they don't say they go now. They go say they go next. When the next week we stay, they go next week. Finally, in America, they will say they threaten for kill him. APC then they plan for kill him. They go salon and kill him. So passing there for make sure say put in security in order before they go. Behold, all of these are the excuses for let it stay away from running. But if they happen to say APC then go call them because according to close family source. They say him or man tell and say, men don't come out APC or make you always say APC because if you go any other part, you win. Now APC nobody will able to win. So you don't make any effort. And then it can also be say because I don't know now see a person will sell his soul for me. It will also be say can look say, oh, if I can't there. And they get people the way they donate to the campaign efforts and be able to make big money that way. And if you sit down in Ghana, you don't go spend that money there in a salon. So the only thing way you do is it affect people, it make them publicize, say you don't pay for the nomination fee of all we cancel of them and all we parliamentary can them. So that they don't do that, then they will say he spends the money the right way. But me know of people we tell we say they go donate to the campaign when a T4C connect that individual to some manner.
Wow.
So they ask them how much they don't project for being in campaign budget. They say $5 million. They say how much you don't get so far. They say you don't get 1.6 million. We don't able to raise. People in Nigeria they donate, people in Ghana donate. Now they say, okay, who will give you the 3.4? When the people in the only they get segment. For let it even call the couple when connect them with the donor. For say, hey, when I send people them that donor, they don't X amount of money, they don't ever do them. So when they report to them, me they call them now ask them, so what did they happen? That man don't report anything to una. They say no. I say, well, una put pressure on una people there. Una tell una business friends them say, oh, una need money out, una pump to that man. Only for them call in the Christmas Day at the people house, where they call the donor. The donor say, oh, una man not tell una what's happening. We don't begin the say no. We don't begin the yam. Na by segments we get. Now the lady says, oh, no wonder they call me. He don't call me, but I be busy. And you know, say that Christmas time is I not be watching food. Okay, thank you so much. That's no more the put himself just stay. So
right. So Betty, this is very.
We make a sorry for them because they don't use money for sell his hope in respect. They really respect hope. We don't be top as if for sake of money. They don't scatter all that. And when somebody in gap, they go na APC go take money from there. They arrange for their 1 billion. APC them be so desperate for people of they not be careful to spend once they win. They don't say they will receive the money back. So they get 600 million. They get 600 million in 2 installments. The third and final installment to them for go get the 400 million. 90 other people they say let them go the meeting. When they go the meeting now, God come up here and ask other person we don't know nothing. We don't go say you talk. When the person said they talk in school of waiting happy. Now just say oh this buyer so they don't know nothing but waiting be done it transpire. Now he tell the person no give that money, they so them all the 400 million they all and the Ghana go back. Then they cannot eat. Now remember the day we can know because some of them don't the APC and APC people vex. Because so they tell me other APC people they get confidence. Now they resign. They don't agree. But they say one time resign. So now they say lie investigation committee. That investigation don't conclude since middle of June. Tell us they talk to. They don't make nothing. In fact, what not same global executive forum. Why did ambassador they talk to let people say this is what happened? It's not clear, they not talk nothing. Between he and Samsuma, this is the entire executive content. And at this time they ask me, because people they know me. We don't go sit down and they see them they are terribly wrong. We can't say we can't pull APC then we can't do worse than waiting. No, I won't say. Now he make me be tell and say, hey, this issue ya una settle am. And I always the one that say the longer they take for settle am, the more scandalous it will become a final analysis.
So Betty, this is even by you explaining what you explain so, and knowing the kind support way when I be the give Alhaji Samuel Samsumana at the film, like say me not being part of una, because you cannot throw your own trust, your own confidence in somebody like that and betray you. So make her ask this question. You know, based on your knowledge of Samsumana right now and everything we don't explain, we don't do, you feel say it been justifiable waiting APC be do to Ram or not?
Why they look back now? Why they look back now? And they see reason why they do but I not agree with them. Even after it don't show me in full color, I still not support waiting and Escomado. Like I said earlier, and Escomado probably we don't see. And first of all, let me tell you, the thing that when we get right now, when he don't go, they tell in combat and attack dogs and for attack that make character. People that they call me, they give me more information. Somebody called from Nigeria and say, nah, a Nigerian businessman, Samsumana, took $6 million and the money he used for building palace and IMAX. This man belong with the students here and his man go see and he go shame and he go look say, oh, this man here not go fit me presidents of this country, go auction this country. But Usai and his man did wrong. In the world best. In the most popular candidates because I see one temper one audio way they say anybody waiting say he popular they go start in own party. But he not be go start in own party where he not be where he be there outside. So I look and say if Anesco man really be trust himself, he believe say he was that popular, he not be need for keep Samsumana take he go announce and on it. Then 2 years later, second that was wrong. If we turn the clock back, I will still say Anesco man was wrong. If he drop Samsumana at the end of the first term, then I will clap for him.
Right.
If it not be explained, they can't explain it as the reasons this I be for clap for him. But for what he do, no, I don't go subscribe to what he do. I don't go ever agree with him.
Right. So Betty, the other question we plenty people then they ask now is, with all of these things we don't happen, who side the C4C stands right now? Is it a political party we get for continue or it don't die?
C4C, it not go die because there get people that wait there with integrity. Right now at this juncture, waiting the labor. Some Sumana want go APC, in cousin Tambastani want go APC. Then they don't get other people that they come to buy the attack dogs, the talks, they all they be in Sumana because they're obligated to am somehow. Me not ever obligated to Sam Sumana, not ever give me penny, not do favor for me, nothing. In fact, it even surprised for no say I will support her. They talk they say it not ever be say me before be one possible come for let if last bearer for T4C. Now I tell her say yes, I know I don't mean reason because I know say waiting and the school do to her. It go make it get sympathy votes. People then go come with eyes with her because the suffer na alone they 290. Okada bobo they ride them Okada every day. Police and how you call them wardens they take advantage by them. They beat them, they make up accidents, so they die. They chop them money, taxi drive and put them all.
All right. And so, me fam with them, that's now Betty Foray, of course, one for, gear some time, they do something under, one for gear some time, but we just like the fact that she was able to actually give us a clear picture of waiting to happen inside the C4C, when at the Coalition for Change. And so one of the things we don't talk about is the fact that the Coalition for Change get for stay, it not get for die, it get for continue. But, it is just good that when, people in the way they turn up for be leaders in our country, and when they don't do that kind of so, let somebody the way they come out and speak the truth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we also, why is all of this they go on? We want for me, say, if you want for Kanayaso and tell your own story, you want for, dispute, waiting, Betty don't talk, you can call we, anytime, not today now, but you can call we and you can come in and profile your views, right? Okay, Betty don't come back. So, yes. So, Betty, so the other question we I be one for ask you, I think so you be different and talk something, right?
Give me 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. We better come. I get for ask him another question pertaining to the country now, pertaining to waiting to go on, Sierra Leone and deal with this new government. But anyway, so the number they up yonder. In case you feel say waiting Betty they talk, you need for counter. You need for talk something way different. That number they call them and we can able for bring you come on here at another day for let yourself go able for talk your own part of the story, because we know how for let it could be one-sided, because we don't hear audios the way Betty and other people then they go back and forth. So if then people then they listen to or then they watch with you with the broadcast now, we are encouraging you to come on board and talk to we about whatever you feel say is necessary for talk about. All right, but yeah, so but we'll get for continue for talk to Betty Nayaso. We'll get for continue for talk to him. Once it's ready, we'll bring her on. But before then, that's they go on. So for now, we'll go ask that you continue for stick around. So continue for bring the programs to you. Stick around with us.
It don't make sense at all. Money no day, thing for itself no day. We get all can be still we no get to know. But we country this survive from this way. We say we no get harder. This system don't pass max alone. Who's then we go wise out. Covering all day, nyam self no day. We get all can sense man day, but we think like kundo. But the country depend on this, but we say we no get harder. Make we put politics one side, politics go where we country. Education, a foundation for a great nation. Because where you know, not just like where you no get to know. Salon Baba, Salon City, Salon man and woman, we all for land. Say we not for good, and we country small, so we get gentry, but we not get sense. So, hey, it's all you, Papa God, you didn't see you. For all your blessing, we live, say we still. Money no day, thing for itself no day. We get all coming, still we no get to know. But we country this survive from this way. We say we no get harder. This system don't pass max alone. Who's then we go wise out. Covering all day, nyam self no day. We get all kinds sense man day, but we think like a kundo. But we country depend on this, but we say we no get harder. Make we put politics one side, politics not where we go.
Mutas the leader, come on, soon I mean a long for my coach, you can't offer it to make it a slum, call them a stomach, what I want if of tight along the one song, and I bear the letting of a circle, got a chip, but he been where I see you could balance, a babo go back when they must tell the dagger to a chip, no, silence, I said, I'm not going to swoon when I'm up circle, come up the net, they will get you, I didn't be skull, was a name, who be to reach a circle, put a neck, war, Maxunang, where I can get a name, put on Chehala, or Sakem de Maga, but who the Kasu de Ugo Sukanabaga, just chip no man up with Miss Abam or Tabam,
money no day, thing for itself no day. We get all coming, still we no get to know. But we country this survive from this way. We say we no get harder. This system don't pass max alone. Who's then we go wise out. Covering all day, nyam self no day. We get all kinds sense man day, but we think like kundo. But we country depend on this, but we say we no get harder. Make we put politics one side, politics go where we country. Kata kata.
Forget about the politics and power. Make we come together and work as one, so Mama Salon will prosper. Travelers in the politics that we put aside. Gone and then thing they can make with it. Now we change we attitude and we way. Now that not the thing where the papa be say. Red or green, orange, black or blue. One young still any night telling you. They wonder make it if Salomon here on away. Forget say no other man land they make. Take all thing go over. Forget say the masses they suffer. All them tea and no copper. Then they eat all thing they left free with.
Money no day, thing for itself no day. We get all coming, still we no get to know. But we country this survive from this way. We say we no get harder. This system don't pass max alone. Who's then we go wise out. Covering all day, nyam self no day. We get all kinds sense man day, but we think like kundo. But we say we not get harder. Make we put politics one side, politics go where we country.
Yes, my family, of course, that's not being Betty Fore. Of course, the song where you listen to just on Arara, nothing, not in a salon, everything done. That was the song done by Sierra Leonean musical artist, na Sierra Leone. Of course, my family have been Betty Fore, when at the Global Publicity Secretary of the Coalition for Change, when I've been a new political party, where they sacked Vice President then by the APC president, we Ina be the presidential candidate of that political party in the just concluded national elections in the country. And so it is rather very, very sad that a key member of that party, where maybe in Siam, the way they support, where they put behind Sam Sumana, the kind way they talk for him, the kind way they do things, for her to turn around today and talk like this, it is really sad for the kind of experiences where they don't go through. If waiting, they don't talk not through. Not very bad experiences then where they don't go through. Nobody know they expect that somebody will want to be a national leader in a country go do something like that one day. But it look like saying there is some element of truth to plenty of waiting Betty don't talk, even if not to 100%, but there must be some element of truth in waiting it don't talk, because it's not easy, you know, the kind way they support her, and for her to just come, you know, make a 360 degrees turn and begin for talk the way we talk, you know. But you know, plenty of we know say this kind of talk we don't go on, wherein plenty of people that be feel say Alhaji Samuel Samsman and Apostle will like money. I'm very sorry. An apostle will like money. And so if this kind man here been be president of Sierra Leone, not to mortgage the mortgage country, not to sell it, they sell salon. So now I make plenty of the prayers that way people that they pray during the elections or before the elections. Then prayers and they be very, very necessary. Because if Sierra Leone makes small mistake, then give this country to somebody who not really love the country, where he want for use in position of authority for siphon the money, for plunge the country into another mayhem. Can you imagine the catastrophe will go fall on Sierra Leonean? And so we just want to say a lot of thanks to Betty Forey for everything. You know, plenty other questions and they will be one for okay. I think say Betty will come. Yeah, so we get for talk to Betty once more. We know say you are back in, you know, we'll go try for just wrap up because we'll get for close, and then by 8:30 yes, by 8:30 we'll get for get another show now. So yeah, so okay. Yeah, so Betty, once more you are here. So I want to ask you one question, Betty. We don't hear plenty people and they refer to themselves as concerned Sierra Leoneans. Now I know say when the the president been sacked, the Alhaji Samuel Samsumana, Mina being one of the founding members of concerned Sierra Leoneans, we will be called Sierra Leoneans and from all over for go demonstrate, you know, against that decision day. But these other concerned Sierra Leoneans, I don't know about them. And we'll be here say the coalition for change will they work with them for me and go protest in New York against His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio. So one for me you talk to me about that. Is it true that you guys are going to be in New York to protest against the president?
Yeah. Ibrahim, the C4C problem, deep, divided. Like I said earlier, Sumana and some of the people where they be and few of the people where they be they want to go APC because Sumana believes say and Escoma will compensate for making them make the flag bearer. So now that plan they work on actively. Now the people here we grab say they go protest the UN when they go name other political party and say now they all work together. C4C no mixed party. C4C no mixed party at all. So we fight a man when I have and they call me and say, hey, we don't mix party, then people down the UNAPIA don't they do anything. No, and then they no go to this. Because if they don't handle this understanding issue, I'll look at the protest and they do nothing. I say no, we will not allow one person for can make the party become stagnant. That's how it is me and him. Now we global executive forum. Now they can get back again this audio where they say what this person they give interview where it talk must something don't go on ABC for go arrange for them go care some Sumana body. Then they are the forum. they don't ever come and talk, say, now like the life are we all, nothing like that. So other members then become concerned, then they say, we will do a press release on that. So when they can urge me to do press release on that, then they expect say, I do the press, and they can put them for the forum, then they look and say, oh, it's good, and me no say that they know they work. And some man don't tell me where if they Ghana, where I be stop for do press release. I said because the red tape too plenty. I say Betty work by that one. Una all too no una go dey pull press release. He told us that. So when we pull the press release, I go to Baidawa no watch that. Because for some reason, you know, they participate fully. You know, yeah, places they were not even talk out. People and they were aggrieved, but some man get training, some man go look or they're busy, or for some other reason don't talk. But me I dey talk. Because me, when they born me, now my family like go. They never take me go outside of my family, they go for me.
So Betty, make I ask you this question. So ever since all of these things, go ahead. Okay, yeah.
So when we can put this press release now, where they say C4C not so part of the protest action where they don't plan, and that we think say it will mature, it best less they contact me for let them grab, they go protest against a 5-month-old government, and we know the part of that. But the press release, I said we are non-aligned. But the thing that we will see the new direction under President Bio they do right now. Now till the way we don't plan say we will do if we win. Okay. So we go support the SLPP so far. And we gladly for this commission of inquiry where they can say because the people of Sierra Leone need them, so they need them. So the faction where one go APC now they begin castigating. Now the UK chairman say, but we never had this press release way on. They say everything when the press release say in our opposition. But they ignore them, they think way no more for blast because they don't say me na one person. We don't tell them say we know the KC for go APC. APC be in existence, SLPP be in existence, PMDC they will not go join their own to start C4C. So we know they can't let C4C to go join APC or SLPP or we now we. So now this then why and me I don't care. Look then they say we hold emergency meeting. They say no get more so no not talk again. Now look say okay last is fire small bit. Then one idiot say the way they talk say politics is for smart people or clever people. Politics is not for fools. I look the guy and that means say then they go again. Be back now, they go tell people and say, when I they attack, they don't know, say, me na person. I don't care if na one man get infected. Wait, no more me wants. That the principle, me, I know they develop, they stick on the track.
So Betty,
Samsumana is me.
Right.
And he want they go APC, but they don't go take C4C go. If they want go, let them grab Saful and go APC on their own. They don't cost me mama waiting at grave, they don't cost me in them, they don't talk all kinds of things. I don't think it's a new thing they will talk.
So the one that we get for go protest, the one that we get for go
more I become with things now.
Yeah, so Betty, the one that we go protest in New York, it possible say some C4C members then get for their among and possibly they get for C4C t-shirts.
But C4C as political party, not so a part of it.
Okay, but what if they wear C4C t-shirts, then carry anything represent C4C?
Now one of the public know say if anything, they say anybody wear C4C t-shirts or any kind of t-shirt for that thing they say they are C4C, they're also official representatives of C4C. Okay. C4C not make for that kind of thing.
Okay, so but you get any idea? You get any idea what thing that they go protest against? What are the issues?
Papaya, I really don't know what thing they go protest. The idea of the protest. 9 day out of with democracy. What is there for good about? Let them don't go hold people and let them don't make commission of inquiry or they let people go just get tea. Then allow that for happen. Then I've trouble done for the everybody for some politician now because now the quickest that for gently. And you listen one other audio comment recently where they talk say this is what APC have done. They have done 2007 they win. Now I guess a friend will be close to an woman and close to the APC hierarchy. And then people's honorable if you don't die some mysterious death may is always peace. People's honorable tell me say he say when they go to the cabinet meeting and the Skoma get intention for let them back some SLP people and say for corruption and then kind thing a day. They say now one person they tell me the person name but I don't call his name now and every person say hey Mr. President remember how we win this election not so we know and give them this power here. It can be say next election one whole SLP people now next election will be Carlos to them. That's what we don't have themselves. So long can be one after day say they don't eat. Because who said they can eat don't and that person there if you not think no more go see somebody they na them video there where they give where they shape money say they talk say them go put on some guy ministry now who said they don't put on the chaplain and the person that they will talk at so when we can see the video and they talk that they back again I believe say waiting them people son table of blessed them we say me say they na be cool. So if SLPP then come and they don't come now say would they go everybody they know they say they go and pick APC demo. This is about anybody where people any post misappropriation take place for investment whatever they call it happen. That person they should not to book and service them because that shows say they don't come for county the country money because they don't say no matter how long they themselves there for common. And tomorrow, they can 20, 30 years, they will can't take and say, car accounts. So this is good for the country. If I let people they do this in the way they make the country go before, not so for OT. If you don't say the government will not pay you better, you get the rights for design from the government work and go apply to go any other work will make you get the kind of money where you want it. But you know go there as civil servants, then you shop where they sell stationery, then where the office stationery now you the person where get you shop like you they say when I go buy them you shop stationery wey cost 5,000 then you go pay it cost 500. That day only for stop. Anybody will love Sierra Leone for gladly for this wire. And for gladly because where APC that where SLPP don't set the president tomorrow where they come out na power. If they self can fall short, if they self can do the same thing, now so the government will go succeed then go hold themselves, bring them to who. But me, I know they talk about who. They wait somewhere where they see. Who say I see I think that they become very active now. And they begin analyze now. Any side when we see things wrong, I will say they are wrong. Me no decide nobody. And I just love my country and I want to things right for my country. So tomorrow, my great grandma did well.
Right, that's true. All right, that now with Sister Miss Betty Forey. He talked to me today from the DC metro area. And the Global Publicity Secretary for the Coalition for Change. Of course, plenty of Unadon on social media where they talk on the issues. Just like I don't tell Una, I know they're afraid for talk. So everything where Betty don't talk today, if anybody they out there where they against waiting Betty don't talk, we number they up yonder, you can call we and we can invite you for make you go come and say what you want for say. But for now, we want to say plenty thank you to you, Betty. We wish you all the best. And of course, I know say if SLPP continue for do a good job, maybe it will be easy for C4C continue for supporter. Am I right?
You know they're far from being right. I talk like a politician. But you don't say when the politician they just see salon people like this.
Well, you don't condemn politicians then too much.
Now.
Well, you know, Betty, you don't condemn the politicians then too much, but you don't sabi for talk the politics talk now past themselves. Because you don't answer me question straight.
That is something when my uncle them be alive, from Foray particularly, then when he don't pass away now, my uncle Pius, they are so rest in peace. Then one day, anytime, they and I were very close. Anytime we did together in politics, we talk.
Right.
Every time in politics, we talk. And I couldn't see so because I don't say my uncle them will be proud of me. My daddy, my mama, my family in the world beyond will be proud of me because this is what my family stood for. The family, na then thing you want, probity for na the society.
Right.
Or if person you go, you see 500 million for go build mansion. Tomorrow you die, you left that man. So tell you where for you left. Now you go get one boyfriend way. Go can end up forget all thing.
Yeah.
So why this yagba?
Why
make them want they will not go bring them can build them find local house affordable housing for people. Because are they housing again when no day where people like go rent old. Some man they go take spend $50,000 for they go. Then rent the house for like $5,000 for year. Then they say they want them pay for 3 years, 15,000 they don't pay a year. By the time when the host they 10 years, it don't make big profits for that host. They will penny for that host. They know the profits not they go to government, no nothing. So the individual they benefit.
Right.
Then the government know the benefits. Then the people and they suffer. So the one when they work, where they in wealth again picking them, and the kind title where he hold now in position, now in office, he need for they live now a decent place. So that's they make the person force for go commit now in workplace or they able to pay that host rent. So they host rent thing they all they for can begin look. I would say the mayor will they look into that kind thing they. Let people let them begin talk to even the housing, everything they under the spotlight. Let's I don't know they for chap.
All right, Betty. Thank you.
Everything be for everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. Now the time that we'll get. All right, Betty, we'll go get back to you at another time. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. You're always welcome.
Yes. So our sister and Betty Foray talked to me today from Maryland in the metro area. Thank you, Betty. All right. Of course, we get for continue for come to live from studio number 8. Of course, next we are going to bring to you another brother winner a firebrand. Of course, we'll not talk about no other person. We'll talk about Mr. Jesmed Fode Mamisuma. As we know him, Mr. Jesmed Fode Mamisuma na a policy advocate for Sierra Leone, and at the same time now somebody who is very passionate about how Sierra Leone go be helped. You know, right now we get Mr. Jesmed Fode Mamisuma on our screen. Of course, plenty of una go don see him, una go don meet him, una go don know exactly. I be really wanting to let in some APC guy meet now. Let we see, you know, how they go debate on the issues. But Delito not come yet, so we'll go left for we'll left for this conversation and Delito will come. Hello, Mr. Suma, how you do, sir?
I do fine.
That's good. That's good. Everything is working well on this side. Brah, always a delight for get you on Sherrick's Broadcast Network because we can benefit a whole lot from your wisdom, from your understanding of the policy issues. And so we want for can't talk about the country again today, especially, the Sierra Leone before the election, during the election, and after the election. So we get for really talk on some key issues there now. But I go on for let we start with this talk here for say where the president the Canada United Nations General Assembly meeting, some people then they wouldn't call concerned Sierra Leoneans, we then get for stage a protest against the president. I know say you, me, and some other people them have been founding members of concerned Sierra Leoneans when the APC president then, Anes Bai Kroma, been get for sack the elected vice president Alhaji Samuel Samsumana. I don't know if not the same concern Sierra Leonean. So wait till you go talk about this planned protest in New York.
Well, me, first of all, not to the same concern Sierra Leonean, not to the same group, and because of that particular issue, they use a name of an organization we registered and get a federal ID. We don't take necessary steps for alert, we lawyers them. we prepare for guest people in New York, where they take a picture and the videos of individuals and where they appear like they lead the demonstration. And we plan for take some legal action. We then continue for username day. The need for produce some registered documentation for those days and get a registered institution where they supposed for carry the name. But if they carry that name without being authority and represent approval, then a violation will go for prepare for take legal action.
Yeah, definitely, because I know say the concerned Sierra Leoneans that you and I were members of, and I mean a properly registered organization, and so we get right to the name itself. So what do you think about people trying to protest against the sitting president right now? You feel say anything the way this president don't do, we go warrant people therefore jump on the street and protest against him?
Well, obviously, first of all, that in constitutional right for letting go protest, and merely against their own protest and then choice. It just be saying people like we not really protest because of protest sake. We not really protest because of partisan sake. Manen will say the same thing the way they allege say they protest for. Me not consider and say they get the moral foundation for stand on for raise issues on anything and they because they not ever stand out for protest against human rights abuses as they allege when a despotic, corrupt, wicked, heartless president is by corrupt they do to people like a we. Then same people they clap for him. Then if they really value the human rights of our people, then they should have demonstrated then, they should have joined us in that demonstration then.
Right.
So this demonstration has nothing to do with human rights violation. It has everything to do with the sour grapes with the sock right and because no lost election. It's all APC trying for just make it out.
Right.
Because if you have to do with human rights abuses, the level of human rights abuses the way it happened on an SY come out in the past 10 years. The number of people the way it killed. You not do ceremonious or you not do let me say you not do officially, you not do like them official killing. But you get talks the way when they kill people in the country. You get APC youth the way they attack and shoot people in. Innocent people in the dying off for nothing. And there's commando do nothing.
Right.
They not go out there for good demonstrate too. He said, "Oh, go demonstrate against them when they attack." So yes, and they like for demonstrate, but they not get no moral foundation for stand on for demonstrate right now because the very thing that we talk about right now, and think that when the young president will do, we will not do nothing.
Right.
Then will come where we go see need for demonstrate against this government yes. Provided and fail to address the issues the way people in the race. But should they give them time for so see how things they go? But this group here, they call themselves concerned Sierra Leoneans, they're not concerned Sierra Leoneans that represent the interest of the people of Sierra Leone. No. These are the APC sour grape suckers.
Right. And so, you know, before the elections and during the elections, plenty things that happen at the country were you aware of? In fact, you're not a victim of some of them things and they owe you, then docking up a number road, you did it, but you not ever share up. And up to today, you not share up, you still talk. And so when this government take over, certain things, and they're not to everything, but certain things, and they would don't do a preliminary investigations into, and they came out with this GTT report, and the recommendations are that therefore, you know, get the audit service Sierra Leone for further investigate, waiting them find out, then therefore get a judge-led commission of inquiry for find out about all these things. As a policy advocate, you feel say this government is on the right path in as far as the GTT report recommendations are?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, they move for take a very serious formal approach to fighting corruption go left a very great precedent wey go kind of encourage future government to continue for follow suit. And me strongly believe say if the they continue with this anti-corruption approach, they're able to bring an escroma and in talks them to book. They account for the $1 billion. Because you know, say me and Ahmad don't follow all these corruption practices. $1 billion, now an escroma and it's medical account where they squander and out of fraud, waste, and abuse of government resources. A lot of them will get millions of dollars today. Then stash them at different sides of the country, then stash them out abroad. If this anti-corruption is able for force to let them cough out at least $250 million within the next 1 or 2 years, it will make a lot of difference in our country. These guys have millions of dollars, and they need to be held accountable. And it is my hope that if President Bio continue this anti-corruption fight, and able to actually bring them to book, it is send a message to the rest of the world. Say, he prepare for cleaning record and move the nation forward as we expect from him. Which means we expect say in your see no motive. Because he don't set an example way they expect other people to follow through after you not done.
Well, you know, we've been talking to an APC member. We tell we say there is a survey where they don't do, we don't come out and talk say, Ernest Bai Kromah now being the best president we Sierra Leone get ever since we get independence in the country. And so when I ask him, waiting at some of the reasons that would factor into that survey for talking the best president, he said because the man maintained peace in the country throughout in tenure for 10 years. So in your opinion, you feel say Ernest Bai Kromah be able to maintain peace in the country, you know, for 10 years, or in the best president which Salon don't get from 1961?
Now insult for anybody for mention that. They don't go mention that to people like we anyway. Because they don't say we're intelligent and smart faster. The fact of the matter is anybody will make that statement today. You don't see that person they think in the past. You don't see that person they had limitations of nine faculties. Because even if you favor somebody self, let's say you favor somebody, you know I say nothing bad about them. If you get any small iota of conscience and morals inside you, you know wherever mistake open the water and Escoman have been the best presidents since independence. Anybody will say that, I know they may argue with them because I know say they get limitation up there. There is no point for I argue with somebody we brainwash. Because there are two types of slavery. You get physical slavery, you get psychological slavery. Some of them APC guys the way they make them what they do. They are psychologically mental slaves. They can't understand. So there is no point to argue with them.
Right.
The fact of the matter, let we analyze and Diaspora within the past 10 years. You know the number of people that will die in Kono where an Escoman send in talks them, where we call police and go arrest them, go knock them up. You know the number of people that will then stab inside Freetown under an Escoman leadership, where die feel from fee, bumping, nothing not come out of that. You know the number of top people when a judge, when a military, retired military personnel, when they assassinate under the Escoman government. Now, if you couple all that one day with the 4,000 or more people that will die during Ebola because of the abysmal failure of leadership of Ernest Nkrumah, how can anybody with a right mind get an imagination for Dr. Ernest Nkrumah? Now, one of the best leaders I can.
As a survey, well, it depends on whether they be answered that survey, you know. Yes, but you know.
I don't believe no survey exists. I lie down. If they among the PCN, then they will hesitate for me that kind of statement.
Well, you know, we get for can run with your survey. So tell me you two go partner for let's run with your survey. Let's see how the result will be. But you know, Mr. Suma, so let's talk about Ernest Nkrumah a little bit more. The man, immediately after the election, he went outside of the country, and then after some time, he decided to come back. Then he get this lousy welcome, now McKinney and all of that. Now, we get some people that when they talk say, that can't wait the man come back, he not be ready for come. If they seek for political asylum, now some other countries. Now, do you have any idea, you know, if this is not true or not true?
No, I have no clue.
Okay.
But I do know say, there was some level of hesitance in him, not knowing the kind of direction where President Bio they take in terms of this anti-corruption fight. They may fear say they go capture, they all go lock them up summarily and go begin wait for detention and trial, which is an option we not have problem with at all. If I was in that position, believe you me and Ernest Nkrumah, then I put them out right now the way it's kind.
Let's test what you
But so now when they realize now say, the matter be over when they talk about yesterday, it look like say different small. You don't get some maturity now, and they allow that for play in terms of how you fight the corruption.
But it look like say the man they taking time for do things. You know me say in our move, they just they taking time.
Hey, but who said the watch? If Mother Bio not do one day, if Mother Bio not arrest Ernest Nkrumah of all people, believe me, Mother Bio go win another election in our country.
Yeah, well, you know, let's see what you get for unfold. That's true. So let's talk about the Mother Bio government and some of the policy positions of this government. Now, what you go tell me about the executive orders then where the president instantly put in place as he don't take power, like you know, people then they go work 8:30 in the morning, 4:45 for off, you know, cleaning of the country, you know, making sure that people are not for all meeting now then hotel rooms anymore, they for going to public auditoriums. What do you think about them executive orders then? Because plenty of people that you talk say the man have been military man, so now military decrees that they use right now. What do you think?
Well, first of all, we're not for the pass orders in the form of military decrees. Some of them in the day we talk to administrative rules them. You don't need parliamentary approval for let tell people and say now go work 8 o'clock. You don't need parliamentary approval for let say well we need for we run with government this way that way. There are certain aspects where require legislative approval. For instance, the areas where you talk about imposing a Saturday cleaning once every month. That's the way it requires the mandate of the municipalities, and the municipalities' responsibility one day for do that. Government can come up with its own regulation or recommendation. Then he offer carrot. Say any city where adopts this regulation, you will get such and such financial support from the central government. But he wrong for let him as president pass a rule where they impose on the entire country with respect to Saturday cleaning, where you not get the mandate of the local legislative bodies of the like the Freetown City Council that they're supposed for passing rule today. But in as much as it is a good rule where we all know say is good and for the country, the man get opportunity for let do on the right way. So that one day are they against that.
Okay.
The other thing they are they against, and the way he fired the the commissioner for the anti-corruption commissioner. They get constitutional provision, and the kind way, at least for now, relatively popular. You know, I know say them concern is that because the law say they forget they forget a tribunal, they forget a body where they recommend to the president, say them for fire the commissioner for the anti-corruption agency. Then they go take that each day, then present in a parliament. The parliamentarians then go for debate them, and then we forget 3/3 majority, but then they go for fire. Now a threshold very difficult for me. When you consider the fact that APC gets a lot of parliamentarians at parliament, and they're not able to warm up and build up strong alliance with other political parties at the parliament. So probably they make them scared. But if we build a man be in position, and for still make the attempt, at least the first stage, set up a body where they examine performance of one of the corrupt anti-corruption commissioners that are Macaulay. Because if you're an anti-corruption commissioner, you aid and abet corruption, then you are worse than those who are committing corruption. I don't know about him being corrupt because I don't know evidence about him being corrupt. But the fact that the agency that he was heading was aiding and abetting corruption instead of fighting corruption, then I cannot help but accuse him for being corrupt. So there was absolutely every reason to get rid of him. But the process by which he was fired is what I am against. And Madabio failed to exercise that. And my concern is that it will create question about the potential independence or lack thereof of the appointment. Because if you appoint somebody not follow the constitutional procedure, then the man will fear say this might be fire me anytime. You don't know constitution for do that. And the constitutional legislative guidelines they will put. There is a reason, and because they don't want the anti-corruption commissioner or agency to be controlled by the president. They want to make them independent, and forget that independence, that make the required 3/3 majority in parliament for able for get rid of and once in that position, on the position of impeachment.
Well, you know, some of the arguments where the government can present in that regard is that, you know, when you look at the predicament in which Sierra Leone is right now, there are certain procedural steps. If you say they follow them, for let you do certain things, then it could be difficult for get rid of the kind corruption where they in the fabric of every part of the country. And so sometimes you get to be drastic in taking some measures. So they talk say if they want to be left there, the potential they for say they're not going even able for left, then for still there, and they're not going to follow through on the new direction. What you say about that?
No, of course. There's no way. I mean, I'm one of the people who they advocate for the president. We don't get rid of all and excommunicate mental sleep. There will be the wrong agencies and for all that. If you left the day, there is no way he will move or run the government. He will sabotage them from the anti-corruption agency to the courthouses to the central bank to the commercial banks where the government they control. If he continue for left them to don't both people and they were in his command place, there is no way he will for succeed for getting run a successful government. But that not give him the right for violating constitutional mandate.
Okay, yeah.
That is not a reason for him for violating constitutional mandate. Because we know say if Madam Yuduan gets rid of that anti-corruption agency following the right constitutional mandate, he was still able for one.
Okay.
Because there is no way the folks inside APC will look the public eye and tell me say they will refuse for vote for fire that guy. If you get the paramount chief on inside, you get C4C on inside, you get NGC on inside, you must get a few APC for add to the SLPP vote to be able to get that 3/3 majority.
Yeah.
And if you don't make the attempt for follow the constitution 110 210, she said they get blockage. If you see do another one for question.
Right.
If you go ahead and just get rid of the guy, you know, or you get the police for investigate and arrest and lock him up. Because they get too many dirty things that were easy for pick up. For them lock them up for them, you know, corrupt practices.
Right. So let us also look at the monetary or financial policies in the country. Right now, immediately after where the APC hand over government to the SLPP, we start to see the leons. I mean, the dollar they rise against the leons, and that it creates some kind of fear in the people. So people they begin for old and dollar. So the dollar begin for scarce in the market. That shoot up the price of the dollar. Now, I'm not saying you don't talk plenty times on then kind financial or fiscal policies in the country. What do you think, say, the new bank governor, Dr. Kefala Kalon, don't take some measures there for bring that money they can down small and for, for steady that whole pandemonium where they try for come up. So what do you go say about that move by the central bank? And if you've been in that position, how you further handle that issue of the dollar crisis?
Well, first of all, let we go over how it lead to the crisis. APC then mess up the economy from 3,500 euros to the dollar to 8,500 euros to the dollar. Now, before he reached that 8,500 euros to the dollar, I mean 7,500. Now, within that election time, it is an issue of supply and demand. When election day, APC will use the central bank and Stradon Commercial Bank, European Bank, as the cash cow, as the pocket money for use and for campaign. And I make they ask for let the president do forensic investigation, forensic test. They call an acid test. Then to bank day, including even the central bank. Let them bring some people for coming to the country. They examine and see book them bank them books. So what them they do? Them pop so much loan in circulation that the people that way not produce nothing. They get access to billions of loans. APC will give them 5 billion, 10 billion to then group their organization and their other society to go campaign for them. That money they will not produce one pin for them. And whenever he produces promo money into the circulation, we do not produce nothing for correspond to that money, the value of the currency they can down. Because most people will get that loans will begin think for they buy the thing that we do not get yesterday. Unfortunately, within an economy we depend on imported goods. So if Mawe be the right wheelbarrow, when a keke na even they take for move from one place to the other, election can get almost billion euros. That man in a motorcar could think for now. The way think about motorcar, we know they produce motorcar. What you will go for the policy way import the motorcar, in demand for the motorcar they go up, the demand for rest will go up, the demand for all the other things when they import they go up. And then people they need the dollar, let them import more. Now when they see them not at the store, they go out now for go look for the dollar. And that make the price of the dollar go up. Waiting cost that at the election money will pump out into the economy. Now, what if we make immediately happen during the election? And because during that election, a lot of women go, we get dollars go. Foreign observers will get dollars. So the demand for dollar was being supplied by the people that will not go with dollar at that moment. The moment after the election, we don't go out. The dollar shortage don't exist. The plenty loans there in circulation. So obviously, the BA shoot from 8,000 to 8,500 to 9,000 for a dollar. In addition to that, the thing will make it worse now. The Tolombo guys them, the APC guys them, Then we feel to say they go win the election. Some of them now we don't win the election, they don't realize they don't win the election. Then we get bags of money at the houses where they can't take na them bank. So they want for converting loans and they some man get 50 billion, 100 billion, 150 billion, whatever billion, and the houses them. So for converting loans and they into dollars, they get them over the way in the way and put an injunction. Because they can't go to a bank, they can't go to a forest because they never create record. Somebody can't afford it to go and say, I'm buying $50,000, $20,000. And they will raise red flag. You go to a bank, you say, I'm buying $50,000, $20,000, I get the loans. They will raise red flag. So in addition to that, they send people and go up for go begin ask for dollar for buy. So when businessman they say, I want buy dollar, the government get na 7,500. The Tolombo agent and go say, I will know what you need to give 8,000. Because the money where they take by them, na tip and tip and they not get value for them. So they compete with the businessman, they want to come buy dollars, the price will shoot up. Now look into the solution, not identify the problem.
Right.
The solution, as I say, part of the problem get for do with the fact that there is too much demand for dollars and we will not get enough dollar for meet that demand. So the measure where the central bank take a possible solution and a temporary solution. When they go take from reserve for auction and to businessman them, so that one the way they go and counter for buy dollars, and businessman they will forget dollars at it, they go to Canada and the central bank, then buy the dollars. So when they buy the dollars, they don't need for put at it anymore. That's the way they buy from the one at it, then go buy from the one at it. It will lessen the competition, and that make the dollar price don't go down small from 9,000 to 8,500, I think like 8,400 or so, around that figure. So the total for them can count to 8,000 euros per dollar. The SLPP and Madabio government don't move them up to another 500 millions per dollar. So now 8,500. Now part of waiting cost one day. Now also get for do with the fact that the government they spend more than waiting in the earn from taxation.
Right.
Now it gets a little relationship, some relationship with the price of dollar, in the sense that because they don't lift subsidy for fuel, they lift the subsidy for fuel. It gets a general what they call cost push inflation across the economy. So everything will depend on fuel. Price they shoot up, even at Tamatis, even at Yabato or Plazato in the pool and farm. If you go for paid transportation, for coming, they add price on them. So it creates cost push inflation. That cost push inflation they make the goods and services a little expensive across the economy.
Right.
Now, because of that, the government because they go sign up the IMF conditionalities with IMF. IMF don't give them the approval, don't do that kind of effective, don't affect the people there. It creates the perception, say the government, one not able for paying debt, two, the gross domestic product will reduce. So that perception where it creates, it make people away want to invest, hold back a little bit on the investment to see how the economy they shake, how they move.
Right.
So that one they slow the regular flow of foreign direct investment into the country. So remember, all the money that they flow into the country, when are done foreign currencies, plus the other thing the way government and people in the produce and send, now they bring about the foreign currency for able for support to the demand at the market.
Right.
Now this perception, because of that condition, the perception we create will make the businessman will be they bring money in a whole lot up small. Now it also add up to the pressure will lead to the increase. So for solve that one day,
right?
For solve that one day, this auction of $5 million is not going to create a permanent solution, like a temporary solution. For solve that one day, there are a whole lot of monetary and fiscal policies where government get for undertake for able to reverse the trend, and that not happen suddenly. It will take a period of time, of 6 months to 1 year, before you can get effects in the economy.
So
I hope they consider some of them monetary and fiscal policies.
So if we break them down to the layman, to break them down to the average Sierra Leonean, you know, when SLPP government take over the reins of governance, and when the dollar shoot up, plenty of people that will talk say, but this new direction, we not see that yet. So look, the dollar price don't go up. You know, price of commodities don't go up. In fact, the APC, then they blame them on the subsidy we didn't release. And so, to you, what you go explain the average Sierra Leonean for understand as to whether not the APCO or not the SLPP would that actually create the reasons for let this dollar price there shoot up?
Well, I touched on that in my previous comment. The first one on the APC, mismanagement. Don't not forget, the APC take over the country. The dollar price has been $3,500 news. So then I real next time they mess them up there. They go to 3,000, 3,000, 4,000, 4,500, 5,000, 6,000, 6,500, they never make the economy no more. 7,000, 7,500, 8,000 at the APC level.
Well, their argument is that, you know, prices of commodities can always rise. You know, like even in America, the same thing where you would buy 10 years ago, not to the same price after 10 years. So the prices, they don't go up. So in fact, then if you say that's not justification for say, you know, the dollar price not be forever remain at that 350,000. But then it is now at, then left at 800,000.
8,000. Now, Mungu the number we talk to. Because they call it inflation. America inflation are about 2%. 2%. You know that we inflation? Over 70%.
Oh my God. You know? Yeah. But anyway, you know, let's talk about the government in education policy as well. You know, free education for primary and secondary students in the country. Now, this is the second week where school don't open, Pikine don't begin go school. In fact, we don't happen now. Plenty other Pikine will not begin intention for go school in Sierra Leone, then save don't go now back. So now plenty decided they get this problem of infrastructure, because the infrastructure not there for house all the Pikine we want for go school. Then they not don't get all of the things the way they really get. But plenty of we still get hope for say education a key problem in Sierra Leone, and that it is good for where the government take them as a flagship agenda item for able to tackle the lack of in the education problems in the country. So waiting a your assessment of the free education policy where the government don't institute right now. What can you tell us about that?
Well, now the biggest indelible mark where Mother Bill will left in record for life in the entire leadership for Salone. And the most transformational step any government can take. And I want anybody when I pay for it will love Salone. I don't care which party they, I don't care which guy you belong, I don't care which region you come from. You need to support this education program.
Right.
So when you support them, not for man and people support them. It is support them for the people of Salone. It is support them because of the love we get for the country, because you know say that particular move they go able for bring about meaningful changes for advance the country far beyond waiting it is now. Especially when you consider the fact that we don't go into 10 years work. We produce speaking, we don't get opportunity for get access to education. Worst of all, they can get a government will run down the education system for another 10 years. They can swing with the money no one in the pocket. Now that make if you go to AYB television, all they show the day, big sister or whatever show them doing it, they see a typical example of the deplorable state of the education system. You see the Miss Sierra Leone contest, the disgraceful way picking they present themselves. We don't blame them picking them. They are victims. We feel sorry for them. Now the leadership failed them. But that the result only with the decision of the country. So when man people take this initiative, man, let God make it succeed.
Right.
My concern though is the fact that say they not create any blueprints. Because if you want a program succeed, you need to create a blueprint, you need to create a strategy, you need to know how you fund them, you need to get a very thought through plan. And for them just declare free education without making preparation for the infrastructure, without making preparation for the logistics, without making preparation for sustainable funding. That is the challenge to be there. And that make people to say we in the diaspora we get a role for play for support the Sierra Leone. You know, I don't care which party then a government. But this free education program is for us.
Yes.
Whatever we be able to do, we need to do and play us.
Right. And you know, I like the way you put on because if finally I see plenty, you know, mockery on social media where people that they dress Mother Bio, they go school, people that they dress, you know, guys then they dress in woman uniform, they go school. They are actually making a mockery of a very important policy agenda of this government. And just like how you put on, you know, it is not about the individuals, not about the country. So that brings me to the issue of dual citizenship. You know, say, now be a key item or key issue in the past election, where plenty of people in the diaspora, you and I, and thousands of other Sierra Leoneans all over the world, we own personal contributions, what they make in the country by individual monetary remittances to individual family members. Them money then they, if you know they go to the country, the country economy not go able for day the way they right now. So if we are doing all of that, anything will happen at the country, would they contribute, would they support? So my question is, you feel say the people, Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora, they get any responsibility for play in the fact that they for being included in the electioneering process in the country?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, the amount of money they send per year is far more than the donor grants every go to the country. Unfortunately, most of the money they send are very few go into production. A lot now for sustain the life of people that we depend upon we. That was the time they send an average of 240, 250 million every year in Sierra Leone. Now, if that money is stop for flow, it will talk about dollar at 8,500, and then 12,000 will go dollar for sustain that.
Right.
Now, it goes without saying that only a stupid government, like an Ibrahim government, now ain't go look in the diaspora on the enemy. If not to be in the diaspora, there will have been no state of Israel. If not to be in the diaspora, the economy of India come for transform. Inside Ethiopia, the energy infrastructure, the development of Ethiopia right now, as the fastest growing economy in Africa, it's owned by the diaspora, the energy infrastructure, and the diaspora born. Because the government stretched hands to the diaspora and encourage them, support them. Inside Kenya, the the diaspora they play the role. Now most African countries, even to Ghana, they do all kind of chaos to let them diaspora and come back to the country. Only the Toronto government, and are the only one where they look at the diaspora don't let me. So if this government, the Marabio government, smart enough, but that one that they left from you now, the SLP man at the diaspora. If we not say, I'm not saying we're not stupid. We're not stupid like Tolombo Gaten. We're not dumb like Tolombo Gaten.
Oh,
so that's dumb. We not sit down. When a government take 1 year, it don't pass how many months? It takes 6 months. They not put that diaspora voting on the table. Then I blame una the SLP people because now they support Marabio, now send money, now wait name they don't know where they do. I told you Tolombo that after 2007, the diaspora community and then run and then cycle and support and say go win election. We go win election, I don't now. Begin take them get bad now, begin them position. Then the rest of them forget about them. You say on value.
Well, you know, say pan enforced appearance na parliament, the president being presented at parliament as one of the agenda items. So hopefully,
really?
Yes,
you mean Madabio?
Yeah, Madabio yes, it presents in a parliament. So, but at any age, even when the president don't present, I think say the Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora also get role for play for ensure say they get interest for that kind of thing. You know, because
absolutely
right. And
so,
yeah, and so, Mr. Suma, coming to the end of this interview, waiting are you general, you know, perspective on things in Sierra Leone, even though there are still people are still, you know, things are not okay the way people that they expect once for Lego be okay. You know, the president go at the party office and talk say before it's sweet, it get for sour for small. So you think, say, what is your assessment of the government, how they operate, what that they put in place, what they need, you know, if there are any changes that they need to make, you know, with regards to their approach to governance? You're not a policy person. You know, what's your general perspective on this government?
Generally, I'm hopeful, but we're not there yet. Okay. It's too soon for making an assessment. Because, you know, when it comes to governance, is different from politics. And usually when politicians take power, they rush into getting things that look good in the eyes of the people because they get momentum that period. But give them 1 year, 1 year and a half to 2 years. Now they begin showing true colors. So it's too soon for them to make an assessment right now. Now, what to make Madabio in actions and look so good for people and for a hail. Now, because of the way how bad an Escobar government will be, what do I mean by that? An Escobar government is so bad that basic thing the way other government they take for granted. You know, they do them. So when they take them and they tell a big deal. For instance, that's how they cleaning the city, making an effort to control traffic. You know, raining down on your out of control parliamentarians and out of control government workers. Then, when you run the street of Britain and own and they respect traffic, when traffic they go one way, then they go the opposite way because they don't want wait. Basic thing around the day. So, might not be able to bring the changes and now. Most people they say, not that massive. That's a big deal for do that anyway. But when it's going to be so dumb. If you just left the country, no more they enjoy passing better with the big. So they don't make all the things the way Madabio do. So you look at it big thing, but honestly speaking, a lot of it is cosmetic. It's not a big deal. Any sober government, I think that you can't think about them. For them, work can work on time. For them, for make sure there is a forensic fingerprint for them, work to make sure they get accountability. Now, basic thing, and even government in Africa say it one. Basic thing,
right.
So there is soon for them to make an assessment. But as I say, I am hopeful because of the changes they see, especially the anti-corruption. If Madabio play with that anti-corruption, he not go follow through on it. He will left a bad nasty legacy for him.
Right.
Then I don't feel this matter be ready to take back name.
No, I don't think say a man we know they talk, so you know they understand him, but me no say a man of action. And so let's talk about briefly before we close down. Let's talk about the president in visit to China. You know, it go with a high-power delegation to China, including the Minister of Development and Country Planning, Minister of Finance, Minister of Agriculture, Minister of Trade and Industry. You know, they all go. But the one side where I've been let way then go. Now the side then they cultivate rice. And then go land. For let them invite them people and then at that research institute for Sierra Leone for teach we how for cultivate rice to the extent that we're able to feed the people in the country. Generally, what do you think about the fact say during the election they oppose the APC so much for the coziness what they get with the Chinese government, but now here we are also cozying up to them. You feel say there is a difference between the two governments and strategies as to how for maintain that for the 5 years of friendship with China?
Well, before I get to that point, see, me not day against our diplomatic tie with China. I'm not there against the idea see China bring in infrastructure development. But when you get a dumb leadership, the kind of command leadership, it was a win-loss situation. The Chinese were winning and we are losing. They are taking our mineral resources and make cosmetic changes like country. All my embrace. Then put toll. We they pay for toll. They not even build the road. What's kind of stupidness that one for easy? So then they can show you wonder what's good at them to get a hit back. Chinese man they bring fish, then they bring them to holiday and come. Then clear out the fish and we water. They don't pay tax. No fisherman informed they shoot them. No government not to protect them under this corona. So, what can I say about Madabio in and the Chinese outreach to them actually? Because the Chinese they really meddle to politics. If maybe they get opportunity, Chinese for suffer for that mess they will meddle to politics.
Right.
We arrest some Chinese man the way dance and street, prosecuted and we caught for violating our electoral laws, for sending a message to the rest of the world. So you can't meddle with politics.
Right.
We don't see a Chinese man lock up at Padema Road. If not for how many months for sending a message to the world. But I am not in power, I cannot say that. But we need a leadership where they could send a message. So the question is, should we continue our relationship with the Chinese? Yes, we should. But we need to review every bilateral relationship with the Chinese. Because now waiting and call them death trap diplomacy. Now the Chinese they practice. Death trap, put you into death, play diplomatic match, wait them with you, tell a long trap, you done. Where you don't reach a stage, the weight of death they will not put in your head, they make the economy for move and begin to say, okay, what's happening? That empowerment, I forgive you and for free. That gold mine, I forgive you and for free. That diamond mines, I forgive you and for free. That road day, how we control them. And that they have in Zambia as well. So me no say the man of your government get intelligent people and far more than waiting others to Mami gets. But my only concern is that will they allow greed? And the most important cancer was nowadays. Will they allow greed to cloud their judgment? And I hope not. And I make matter to need the right caliber of people them where money no they pull them.
Right. You know,
hope.
Yes.
You go bring that around now. I can't make an assessment for that way around now because it's too soon to tell. We need for review, we diplomatize with China, and we need for tread cautiously. We need for be aware of the death trap diplomacy so that all them then give them the way they can give you so, or not to give them loan the way they can give you so. no can become a body for Burkina tomorrow. Because when you don't cost 50, I don't know if they go so or Burkina no one left the body which Chinese man they can't take over country tomorrow don't die.
Well, you know, I could not believe I see where is Zambia, then they decorate a Chinese man as the Inspector General of the police of that country. A Chinese man. Hopefully that kind of thing is not going to ever happen in Sierra Leone. But Mr. Jesmet Suma, as always, you know, yes, you want to say something?
No. I say yes. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Right. But as always, you know, it was always a pleasure for getting us. So for like, you know, we will talk to you. Of course, this particular broadcast is so important that we'll get for distributor and our social media, like all man say, because these are very important things that we'll talk about. But I want to tell you plenty thank you for this time. And of course, as always, we can bring you come anytime we will need you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.
Right. And so, my family, that's now Mr. Jesmet Fode Mami Suma. He talked to we from New Jersey today. Stick around with us.
Money no day, in for itself no day. We can't talk a minute, still we not get to know. But we country this survive for us, we say we not get out. This system don't pass max alone, until we go wiser. Covering all day, nyam nyam say but we say we not get harder. Make we put politics one side, politics go where we country kata kata.
Forget about the politics and power. Make we come together and work as one, so Mama Salon will prosper. Tribalism and nepotism we put aside. Gun and then thing they can make we differ. Now we change we attitude and we way. Now that not the thing when the paper say. Red or green, orange, black or blue. One pion still any night telling you. They wonder we keep Salon money here on away. Forget say the other man land they make. Take all thing go over. Forget say the masses they suffer. All them see and no copper. Then they eat all till they left free with
money no day. In for itself no day. We get all coming, still we no get to know. But we country this survival so we say we no get harder. This system don't pass. Max alone who's there we go wiser. Cover no day. Nyam self no day. We get all sense man, but in the king like to know. But we say we not get harder. Make we put politics one side, politics go where we country kata kata.
Yes, of course, me fumble them Arara Natino Day by Temple Run. Of course, this now from Sierra Leone, West Africa. We want to say plenty thank you to musical artists them. They do very well, very well. Of course, every time we listen to Sierra Leonean musical artists, we feel very proud of what they do. Of course, this time we'll get to move on to another segment. We go to the close of this broadcast. But before we do that, we want to take a moment for say plenty thank you to some of una they watch. We today una they watch the show live. Mr. Muhammad Kalon and Abbas Collier, thank you very much for watching. Of course, I know say Abbas Collier at Freetown. Mr. Unisa J.M. Vandi, thank you very much. Selsom M. Kamara, thank you. Suma Abdullahi, Agnes Bendo Gombu, Elizabeth Kanu, Ali Olaleken Aslan Kamara, Ian Bayo, Betty Mata Boima, Julius Gambai, Abdul Kemal Fona, Julius Gambai again, of course, Master Stevens. Thank you very much, Master Adana in Pekin. Thank you for watching. Max Junior Kamara, thank you. Mendenya Sao, I know that I want to thank you very much for watching. Bailo Njai Jalo, thank you very much. Ibrahim Mansaray, Alusain Jalo, Michael Desmond Bundo, Muhammad Kalon again, Iman Mani, Edmond Lavali, Augustine Kalon Wane, Musu Panguma, Lansana Sako, of course, Dan I'm a man from Reading. Mr. Sako, how are you? Mobi, Sidratu, Selena Conte, Macmillan Carter, of course, Namimana, California. Thank you very much. Amidu Bundu, Noah Kuruma, of course, I want to tell you now plenty thank you for where we are the watch waiting with the show. And so next week, Saturday, we get the president Maryland in the Washington DC metro area. You get forget a town hall meeting right there. Of course, a Sheriff's Broadcast Network get for bring a live coverage of that town hall meeting to you all over the world. Wherever you are, just ensure that you're able to follow we live. We get for give preliminary interviews, and of course, we'll go talk to people there before even the town hall meeting starts. But all will be part of everything what happen that day at the ground. We'll get for talk to people then. So we'll get for give a live coverage of that event. And so we invite you for join we on the 29th, September 29, live in Maryland. Of course, we are going to have people all over the place, and definitely I am going to be in the studio, of course, in Maryland to actually bring you that event. And so that is what we are going to do. But then the last but not the least, we want for bring come to another segment of our broadcast. We will be the final segment, and then we'll close for the day. All right, so stick around with us.
One of the Labour here in London. The country. That community here in my constituency has been raising concerns about what's going on in Sierra Leone, the attacks, the politically motivated attacks on people, the undermining of Sierra Leone democracy. I care about those issues on behalf of my constituents, and I've asked questions about that in Parliament. Because I've done that, someone in Sierra Leone is alleging I've been paid to do that. There's been no payment, and if you give me your name and address, I'll get my solicitors to get in touch. But your attempts to smear me will not work. I will continue to raise questions about what's going on in Sierra Leone. I will continue to press the UK government to put more pressure on the Sierra Leone authorities to make sure democracy is upheld and that all Sierra Leone lives matter. I'm Neil Coyle, I'm the Labour MP for Birmingham and Southwark here in London. This constituency, my constituency, has a strong, vibrant Sierra Leone community, a very big Sierra Leone community with really strong links to the country. That community here in my constituency has been raising concerns about what's going on in Sierra Leone, the attacks, the politically motivated attacks on people, the undermining of Sierra Leone democracy. I care about those issues on behalf of my constituents, and I've asked questions about that in Parliament. Because I've done that, someone in Sierra Leone is alleging I've been paid to do that. There's been no payment, and if you give me your name and address, I'll get my solicitors to get in touch. But your attempts to smear me will not work. I will continue to raise questions about what's going on in Sierra Leone. I will continue to press the UK government to put more pressure on the Sierra Leone authorities to make sure democracy is upheld and that all Sierra Leone lives matter. I'm Neil Coyle, I'm the...
All right, so me fun with them. Now that's the whole conversation we don't get now this broadcast today is centered around waiting we just don't see. That is a British member of Parliament representing Banmosey and Southwark, Old Southwark in England. And so this man has not visited Sierra Leone in recent times. He has not witnessed any human rights violations in the country. He has no evidence to prove his allegation that there are human rights violations in the country. He has launched an attack on the government of Sierra Leone purely based on hearsay. People go to him and tell him, oh, they are intimidating people in the country. Oh, there is political violence in the country. And he believes in that. Without even if he does not go to Sierra Leone, but at least dispatch members of your staff to go to the country and see for themselves if there are any evidences of human rights violations in the country before you start to put your own credibility on the line. You are an MP in one of the oldest democracies in the world, a place where we believe that people stand for justice, people stand for honesty, people stand for integrity. And so I have no reason why Honorable Neil Coyle will put his own integrity, his own credibility on the line for people who are known to be perpetrators of violence, of intimidation, of corruption, and all the other bad things that have happened to Sierra Leone. And so it is just very appalling for us to hear what he said, coming from him. And of course, we extended an invitation to Honorable Neil Coyle to appear on Sheriff's Broadcast Network and for us to talk to him personally on some of those allegations that he has made. But we are yet to receive any response to the invitation or to the letter that we sent out to him. We have not heard from his office yet. And so that was why we had this conversation here today. But we're going to move on now. Next, we want to bring you another segment of the broadcast, and then we move to the next. Stick around with us. All right, and so me fun with them. The next thing we want to talk about briefly now, the befitting send off with to the newly appointed Sierra Leonean High Commissioner to Nigeria in the person of Dr. Solomon Gembe Sr., who used to live in Dallas, Texas. And so the SLPP members of Dallas, Texas, gave him a befitting send-off. They appreciated him for everything that he has been doing, and they wished him well. Him and his family, his wife and his kids, they have now left, and they are, sojourning in Abuja, where they are going to be officially located. And so Sheriff's Broadcast Network happens to have been there, and so we do a little bit of coverage of that event. So one for me, stick around as we bring it to you right now. Stick around with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we give a standing ovation to welcome our High Commissioner to Nigeria? the High Excellency, the First Lady, the wife of the Ambassador.
Sierra Leone to attract foreign investors. Currently, my major assignment is to bring Sierra Leoneans living in Nigeria together, especially. And currently, is to form an organization that will work in the interest of Sierra Leone women. I'll also be organizing fundraising events to push my organization forward and help achieve my goal to develop women of Sierra Leone. Nigeria is ready to help Sierra Leone as we are all members of the ECOWAS and the Commonwealth.
Well, I'm so flattered. This is a huge honor. It tells the whole world that I'm loved by my people. At least I know I have a base. That's right. In the Dallas-Fort Worth metroplex. Guys, I came to this country in 1986, about 32 years on my own. I didn't come here to retire and die here. I came here to get some studies, dedicate myself, and go back home. I thank God for creating a unique opportunity for me to go back home and serve my people. That's right. First off, I want to thank the chairlady of SLPP. And this idea just came up very recently. I was a little bit under the weather since I came, and I did not put more thoughts to it until a few days ago. So I want to thank her, my SLPP colleagues, especially the cornerstone of SLPP, the Papa. I also want to thank my Diplomat family and the rest of the community, the clergies, all those, elders who might have helped somehow in making this occasion a success. But I'll be remiss if I don't thank our Excellency, the Guitar Brigadier, Julius Madabio, for this appointment and the confidence it puts in us. Because my appointment is really for this metroplex. That's right. We have quite some folks in this neck of the wood serving in a new direction. Of course, my cousin, Sapawiya Rogers, a spiritual wife is here. The lawyer, incidentally, he used to office out of this building, and now he's in charge of immigration. That's right. And in Houston, you have Kube, Dr. P.K. Mona, joining the team in State House on the communication. Wow. Let's talk a little bit about the Guitar Brigadier Julius Madabio. There's one thing about him, especially on this Sabbath day Sunday. People keep talking about the first coming, the second coming. Of course, you might want to throw some light on that. One we're talking as on a sidebar. Right. But he was a head of state years back, about 20 years ago. And those were years when he was a young man, useful in the version. But he has grown in his position over the years. And now he's head of state for the second time. You might put a biblical order to it like a second coming. It's very important because for him to have been able to pull this last election, it's because a lot of things happened. I see we are talking about APC brothers. You know what? We give them credit for creating an atmosphere for us to win this election. How? They did not deliver on the promise to their people. Okay? C4C was able to help us in the swing states. The same like Kanda Yonkela in Gambia and other places. So we owe it to all these political parties bringing us to power. So we need them all now to help us govern. Somebody mentioned that I made a lot of enemies. Those were at the time of campaign. When you campaign, things are brutal. But we need all hands on deck now to pursue HE's agenda, which is good for the country. Anytime SFP is in power, the country prospers. So we have a unique opportunity, like a total eclipse, for us to take Sierra Leone to the next trajectory. So, but I was talking about HE a little while ago. This gentleman is very humble. Discipline, he talks less. I think I'm going to follow his footsteps in talking less.
You go,
as a diplomat, I should be talking less. But I'm talking to my family here. And there's nothing I'm going to be saying here that's no read on social media. We have a very good communication team at the State House that feed you on everything. So I'm just talking to you frankly here as just to let you know the man. One very important thing, my wife thinks about children and women. If you go to His Excellency's house, in his living room, you see all these little girls and kids from the neighborhood. He goes out there and they all come to play with Sierra Mami. Why is it important, Sierra Mami? He's a very simple man, he's a grassroots man. And in his living room, you see all people from Pampoli and so that's a grassroots man. As you can tell by our Papa chairman, who is sitting right here. We're really grassroots. And I'm just trying to create a baseline to stimulate conversation here. And let's go to the First Lady. The First Lady, Mrs. Fatima Bio, she's a major asset to our country and to our party. This is the backbone of His Excellency. She really helps in the campaign. She compliments him. So what I'll encourage folks here, women folks here, is to hold that lady as your own sister. She represents the youth, the demographics that is now in the driver's seat to take to the next level. And she symbolized that. And even she passed as a youth. And I can even pass as a youth too. So, I mean, these are very good people. And I want to thank her too for being in my corner. If you want Tima, which everybody calls her Tima, to love you, you have to love her husband.
Dikariwa, oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key to Dazoto? Dazoto, 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 oh yeah, Al Qaeda, 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 Al Qaeda.
Wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Girl, you're too fine. And by the way, you the rewind. And make a bad man feel fine. And so come make you be man. Oh yeah.
wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is how we are going to end the broadcast for tonight. Of course, I want to tell you all plenty thank you for we want to hang out with you today. Of course, very shortly, you will not be there. We will start the broadcast 5 minutes after we'll close. You will get the opportunity for watch the entire broadcast one more time. So once more, I'm Ibrahim Sheriff, and I come to you today from studio number 8, and I want to tell you plenty thank you. Thank you very much.
Wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause you know see I get a plenty for Chalo.
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key? Where's the key to Dazoto? Dazoto, Dazoto, Dazoto. Oh yeah, Al Qaeda, 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 Al Qaeda.
Wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Oh yeah, Dikariwa, Dikariwa, Dikari, Dikari, Dikariwa. Girl, you're too fine. And by the way, you the rewind. And make a bad man feel fine. And so come make you be man. Oh yeah.
wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's
Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Okay, fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from? Fine girl, you are so fine. Tell me, where are you from?
Shirt is so fun with a big backside. Tell me where you from, can I be your buddy guy? I'm on your line, girl, waiting for your time. Body of a mind, you can press rewind. Hold me down, please me now. Money on my mind, but I get by the crime. Girl, you are fine. G's on the rhyme, cause you know you are fine.
wangulu, wangulu, ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's wangulu, 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 ho. All of my ladies, the one give me ho. Tell her say, baby, go chop my money, cause it's